Bishop Sheard called himself trying to halfway rebuke pastor down there in Atlanta. I noticed how he stepped around a lot of the other stuff surrounding William Murphy. He gonna pick and choose a perfect position, talking about him playing the music in church. Well, what about everything else surrounding him? How about him standing there in that church with that lesbian couple, called herself baptizing a baby dedicated to God? How about that lesbian couple, period? He's sitting on Dish Nation trying to make their lifestyle right. He ain't got no business. He was sitting in the midst of that mess if he's a real man of God. But Bishop Sheard need to clean up his own house. His wife, his daughter, his children, his in-laws do what they please. They run around holding friendship with the world, business with the world, when the Bible directly speaks against it. If you can't run your own house, how you gonna run the church? They chasing after money, which the Bible forbids. Every time they preach, they preaching for money. Every time they go out and sing, they singing for money. On them big time tours with Kirk Franklin and all that. What does the Bible say about chasing after money? We ain't even got to talk about them being in the pulpit. It's enough right there. To work on. The Bible says you can't love money in God. Can't chase after money and fall after God. Can't hold friendship with the world. But he gonna get up and pick and choose a perfect position and talk about rap in the church. Playing, okay, you wanna just talk and focus on the church, that's fine. But that's a cop-out. When Bishop Wu came out and said something about them sisters and Beyonce, as far as I know, Bishop Sheard ain't said nothing yet. Won't rebuke the world. Won't rebuke the worldly folks. None at all. Won't even preach against the world. Not rebuke, but won't even preach against the world. Y'all got to pay attention to what's not being said. They get up there and preach them empty sermons week after week, time after time. Never no convictions. Never preaching against the world. You got to preach against the world to draw the world and to keep the church people focused on church. You got to preach against the world. You cannot be a pastor and lead a church and not preach against the world and not preach conviction. You got to. It's what the Bible calls for. No, you don't beat the world down. You don't beat them up. But you preach against them. You get in the word. You put the word out there. You put the word out. You preach the hard truth to keep the church folks focused on the Bible and to draw the world in. You can't draw the world in by not preaching against the world. You got to give them the truth. That's not coming out of Koji. Only thing coming out of Koji is running after money. Every time them preachers, women and men, stand up and preach, you best believe they getting paid. They don't talk about that either. It's all about money in Koji. Pretty much in all these church organizations, it's all about money. If they would really want to preach and didn't mind preaching, they would go outside and preach the gospel on the streets. But everybody chasing after money in church. It's a gimmick. It's a game. Keep making the same money over and over again off the weak followers. People ain't got no leadership. If they had leadership, they wouldn't mind going on the streets like a lot of other people preaching the gospel, trying to draw folks in. They busy running around on them tools, making money, which the Bible clearly forbids. But y'all don't get that type of preaching. They steer clear of them verses in the Bible. They don't talk too much about Apostle Paul and Apostle Peter.